So you think you are fighting with your sister or your brother or your son or your daughter or your mother-in-law or your father-in-law or your brother-in-law. You think you are fighting with them. You are wrong. The Bible clearly said that our battle are not with flesh, but with evil spirit. That's why we have to understand the importance of living in the spirit. Because when you're living in the spirit, you clearly going to overcome whatever frustration you can get from your neighbor or your sister, your brother, or anybody. You're going to overcome because you're going to see that it's not them, but it's the evil spirit that are using them to manipulate your thought, frustrate your life, make you sad, make you angry. You're going to know that it's not them. This is why the importance of living in the spirit. When you live in the spirit, you will understand this. But living in the flesh, you will not understand it. You think it's the people that are against you. You think it's anybody, and it's not. You're going to understand that we need to use our weapons are spiritual. So that's why we need to use the weapons in the spiritual life. Some of our weapons are prayers, fasting, reading the Bible. Those are our weapons that we're going to be using to fight the enemy. We're not going to be using nasty words against our neighbor, against our brother. We're not going to fight against them. We're going to fight against what is behind them. Remember, sometimes when you are in the spirit, those that are around you, they are not in the spirit. So those are the people that are going to get against you, but it's not them. You have to understand that it's not them. That's why you have to, Jesus said, how many times I have to forgive my neighbor? How many times I have to forgive when people offend me? Jesus said, every time. 70 times 7. 7 times 7, 70 times. He means every time somebody offends you, we have to forgive them. Because Jesus forgive all of us. Jesus forgive us. He was the one who really suffered in this earth for us. We haven't suffered that kind of suffer that he suffered. So remember that. We have to forgive. We have to forgive, because if we start getting our heart angry with resentment against the person, you are doing some danger to your own self. So we need to use the weapons that are in the Word of God. Our worship, when you worship God, when you gather together with a group of Christian people and you pray and you worship God together, that's another weapon that we use. Because when we praising God, we are declaring victory in our life. In all whatever is going through, we're declaring victory, because we know that it's nothing impossible for God. But we have to believe. You have to have faith that God going to work in your favor. But you need to use your weapons. Your weapons are spiritual. Remember that. Okay? When you see you fighting with somebody, have you noticed that you don't gain nothing from that? If you each other talking bad, talking, and not stop talking bad to each other, you see that at the end you don't gain nothing. So that's how we have to understand that our battle is not with that person. Now, when you leave the other person fighting alone, you know they're not going to win either, because the enemy wants the destruction. That's what he's looking for. He's looking to destroy families. He's looking to destroy relationships. That's what he's looking for. So he's looking that everybody be an enemy. And our only enemy that we have is him. So that's why we have to understand that we as a human being, we have to forgive each other and overcome and forget about it. Whatever offends you, just let it go and keep going ahead. Taking to God in your prayer, whatever is bothering you, taking to God in your prayer, in your needs, you will see the difference. You will see that God will take that burden that is bother you, and you're going to feel more relief. You're going to feel more relief because you give that burden to him. You give it to God in your prayer. So use that other weapon that is so powerful, the prayers. God is not asking you for something difficult. What God asks us for us is not difficult. To pray is not difficult. You can either do a 5-minute prayer, 1 hour prayer. Doesn't matter. The important thing that you do it continuously. That's why Jesus said you have to pray every time, continuously, not just on Sunday. No, it's every day, because every day the enemy is looking to make you frustrate or make you low self-esteem, all the negative stuff. That's what it comes from them, come from the enemy of God. That is also our enemy. We have to understand that we're not going to win unless we use our spiritual weapons.